Welcome to Ground Zero Atelos. This is Deep Dives. Your subscription means you care about your mental health.
Welcome to this deep dive. We've got this fascinating stack of sources on psychological strength and also vulnerability. And we really want to cut through to the core question. How do we move beyond just, surviving stress?
Right. How do we actually maybe benefit from it?
Exactly. So let's set the stage. We need to unpack this concept first. Psychological fragility. We all hit rough patches, adversity. But it seems like our internal responses are really the key differentiator.
That's it. And fragility, it's crucial to understand the sources are clear. It isn't just like simple weakness. It's more of a dynamic process, almost a self-defeating loop.
The loop. How so?
Well, the core mechanism seems to be the secondary reaction. It's that feeling bad about feeling bad. You feel anxious. Okay, that's the first thing. But then you layer on self-blame, like I shouldn't feel this way, or I'm weak for feeling this.
So it's the judgment about the feeling.
Precisely. That internal criticism, that self-directed negativity, it acts like fuel. It just magnifies the original distress and kind of cements that fragile state.
And the impact isn't trivial, is it? I saw some numbers in the research.
No, it's quite significant. That fragility trait, it's linked strongly to outcomes. The studies cited suggest it predicts around 28% of poor perceived well-being.
28%?
Then nearly 30% of high perceived stress. It's like this hidden weight really dragging down quality of life for a lot of people.
Okay, so if fragility is like, a glass vase shattering under pressure, what's the alternative? We often talk about resilience.
Right. Resilience is definitely part of the picture. That's the ability to withstand shocks, to bounce back to your original shape. Think of a rubber band, you stretch it, it snaps back.
Okay, it holds its form.
Exactly. But this is where it gets really interesting, I think. There's this aspirational concept, anti-fragility.
Anti-fragility, that's from Nassim Nicholas Taleb, right?
That's the one. And the idea here is an anti-fragile system doesn't just resist shocks or stress, it actually benefits from them. It gets stronger because the volatility, the failure, the stress.
Benefit. How does that work psychologically?
Think biologically first, it helps. Your bones, your skeletal system, they get denser, stronger when you put stress on them through exercise.
Okay, yeah, weightlifting builds bone density.
Right, so the resilient rubber band just stays the same. The anti-fragile bone gets better. Psychologically, the parallel is something we call post-traumatic growth.
Post-traumatic growth. So people don't just cope after trauma.
They fundamentally upgrade. Their perspective shifts, their relationships might deepen, they find new strength. They didn't just return to baseline. The stressor actually catalyzed positive change. It rewired them in a way.
That's a powerful idea. So, okay, if anti-fragility is the goal, let's backtrack to fragility. What lays the groundwork? The sources mentioned early experiences, specifically pointing to things like highly critical parenting.
Absolutely. That's a major factor highlighted. Chronic emotional criticism or worse, abuse. It could have lasting neurological consequences.
Neurological, like in the brain structure itself.
Yes. It can lead to a lifelong overactivity of the amygdala. That's your brain's sort of ancient threat detector, so you're constantly scanning for danger, always on high alert.
Okay, so hypervigilant.
And crucially, the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for more thoughtful emotional regulation, calming things down that can become underactive. So your brain is basically, it's wired for hyperreactivity. Makes it incredibly hard to move towards anti-fragility if that's your baseline.
And that wiring, I imagine, it's maintained by certain thinking patterns. The sources brought up emotional reasoning.
Yes, that's a key cognitive trap. Emotional reasoning is essentially mistaking your feelings for facts about the world or about yourself.
Can you give an example? Like, how would I know if I'm doing that versus just having a legitimately bad day?
A simple red flag is often the word therefore, even if it's unspoken. So you feel anxious, and the thought process is, I feel anxious, therefore this situation must be dangerous.
Okay. Or, I feel ashamed, therefore I am a bad person.
Exactly that. You're taking a temporary internal state, a feeling, and treating it as a permanent objective truth about reality or your identity.
So if this internal critic, maybe born from those critical experiences, is fueling the fragility, what's the way out? What's the antidote?
Well, the sources strongly point toward self-compassion.
Yeah.
This is really the foundation for shifting your whole relationship with discomfort. Instead of fighting the pain or criticizing yourself for it,
you move towards accepting it kindly.
Precisely. Kindly is the key word. It's about changing the reaction to the feeling.
Okay, but self-compassion can sound a bit fuzzy. How do we actually do that? How do we make it practical?
Yeah, good question. We can look at the work of researchers like Dr. Kristen Neff. She breaks it down into 3 core actionable parts.
Okay.
First is self-kindness. Basically, treating yourself with the same understanding and care you'd offer a friend who's struggling instead of that harsh self-judgment.
Makes sense. Less beating yourself up. What's second?
Second is common humanity. This is about recognizing that suffering, imperfection, making mistakes, these are universal parts of being human. You're not alone in feeling this way. It directly counters that isolating feeling that often comes with fragility.
Right, realizing it's not just me being uniquely flawed.
Exactly. And the third component is mindfulness. But mindfulness in a specific sense here. Observing your negative thoughts and emotions without getting totally swept away or consumed by them. It's about non-judgmental awareness. Seeing the feeling without being the feeling.
Self-kindness, common humanity, mindfulness. So this whole journey, it sounds like it's less about eliminating bad feelings because adversity is inevitable, right?
Yeah.
And more about building a kind of psychological metabolism, something that can actually process the chaos and turn it into strength.
That's a great way to put it, a psychological metabolism. It is about changing how you react to discomfort, not necessarily stopping the discomfort from ever happening.
Okay, so that's the core takeaway, building that capacity.
Yes. And maybe for a final thought, something to chew on. We can draw from acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT.
Okay.
To really move towards this anti-fragile state, you need to get clear on your core personal values. What truly matters to you, deep down underneath all the noise.
Define your why.
Define your why. And once you have some clarity there, commit to small daily actions that align with those values.
Sure.
Focus on meaning, on purpose, especially when emotional discomfort shows up. Because real strength often comes from acting purposefully, despite the discomfort, not waiting to the feelings of comfort or confidence to arrive first.